Hi, welcome to a Vinyasa yoga practice. My name is Kaylee. Today we'll be focusing a little bit more on the shoulders. It's a full body flow, but if you happen to have a yoga strap works, or I'm using a dish towel here, a hand towel will be great, a belt, a scarf, whatever. If you don't have that equipment, no problem. When you're ready, meet me in a comfortable seat on your mat. Just take a moment to kind of settle into your space. If you need to grab a glass of water or get anything ready to go, great. And then eventually land somewhere that you can start to shift your focus inward. Once you've got your surrounding area set up, start to check in with that internal area. Not from a place of judgment, but just from a place of, curiosity. Right? How does your spine feel? How do your shoulders feel, knowing that we're going to be spending a little bit of extra attention on that area? Maybe you just start to send a little more awareness down the sides of the neck, through the upper arms. Let your awareness wrap down into the actual shoulder blades, the scapula. If you haven't already done so, maybe let your eyes close down or shift your gaze to one spot right past the tip of your nose. And then from there, see if you can release the awareness of your body into a more global awareness. Just backing off that focus a little bit to a broader lens. And start to notice the breath. You don't have to change anything about how the breath is showing up just yet. Sometimes just by sending some awareness to that ebb and flow of prana, we might find that the inhales grow a little longer. And the exhales perhaps slow down a little bit. Maybe just a couple more rounds of breath here, as if you could inhale from your seat all the way up through the body, all the way up the spine, all the way out through the crown of the head. And then as if you could exhale right back down from the crown of the head, all the way down the torso, rooting you down into your seat. Let's take one more long inhale like that, filling all the way up, finding a little pause at the top. Without straining, you might notice that you're sitting just a little taller. And then a slow exhale, dissipating any tension, letting it dissolve and drain down into the earth. Your next inhale, blink your eyes open, and then bring your arms into a goalpost position or a W. So if it feels comfortable to have your elbows in line with your shoulders, cool. For my shoulders, I just feel the shoulder blades slide onto the back of the ribs a little bit more, and it's more comfortable to have my elbows a little lower than shoulder height. Hard to see because I'm wearing a big baggy sweatshirt. Keep your arms in that position, and then rotate your body gently to the right and gently to the left. Try not to go for your maximal end range rotation here. Feel that you're controlling this twist. So that's why we're not using the hands right now. Controlling the twist through the obliques and maybe even down into like the psoas muscles. So you're rooting down into your hips. Hips are not swiveling right to left. Nice, easy movement for 3, 2, 1. Come through the center. Pull the elbows back a little bit. Extend your spine. You might even tilt the tailbone back behind you and lift the chin and the chest and open up through the heart. When we're focusing on shoulders, we're actually doing a lot of work around the heart chakra, anahata. Stay here as you breathe in. And then give yourself a big hug as you exhale. Maybe you tuck the tailbone under, pull your belly button to your lower back, press the low back so there's space, not just between the shoulders, but all the way down. Let's open the arms back up, breathe in, finding that cow spine extending, and then switch which hand is on top as you exhale back into that cat back, little tuck of the tailbone without losing your balance. One more just like that, breathe in. And breathe out. Go ahead and switch the crossing of your legs, maybe. And then bring your left hand to your right knee. You can also do this in a kneeling position if you'd like. We're gonna pull that right elbow back behind you in space. Doesn't need to be perpendicular with the ground. I have a little angle here happening. And then pull the right shoulder blade onto your back, lift the chest, lift the chin. Think cow, but with a twist. Breathe in. As you exhale, you're gonna sweep the right hand underneath the left arm, catch the right side of your rib cage and think cat. Really let that right shoulder blade move away from the midline of your spine. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, right elbow goes back and we take a little twist. Exhale, scoop it under the body. Really let the right shoulder move toward the right ear. Take 1 more like that. My sweater's in the way. Breathing in. And breathing out. Come back to the center. Notice any difference in the right and the left. And then we're just going to switch that up. So left elbow is going to come back behind you. Right hand comes to the right knee. And then open up the chest, open up through the throat and the chin. Remember, we're never forcing here, just connecting with the body. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, swoop that arm under, left shoulder toward the left ear and away from midline. 2 more times with a long inhale, stretch it open. Exhale, round it in like half of a hug. 1 more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Come to the center, cactus or goalpost the arms on your in-breath. Open up the chest. And then this time, find your hands in your knees. Shoulders will be right over your wrists, knees right underneath your hips. Let's do some circles with the body. So as you circle back in space, the shoulders will move past the wrists. Try and stay long in the low back. Switch the direction of your circle. So oftentimes we have a tendency to kind of dump into that lumbar spine and get a little lax through the abdominals. Sometimes that's totally fine, but see if you can maintain some awareness in your core just for the sake of feeling supported through your practice today. Pull forward, back to hands and knees here. We're going to keep the pelvis still. If you've never done this and it turns out to be really quite difficult, that is a-okay. So much of this practice is about building new neural motor pathways. We're going to take a scapular push-up. So all that's going to happen is you keep the arms straight, drop your heart between your thumbs. It's not a huge movement. Shoulders pull toward the spine, reach the crown of the head away from your tailbone. And then press into your hands. Round just through your upper back. Again, the neck isn't really moving, the hips aren't really moving, except as kind of that little bit of peripheral movement just to come along for the ride. Let's do that again. Let the chest sink and the shoulders shrug toward the ears and toward each other. Press into your hands, round open through the upper back. Take a couple more like this, really warming up the muscles of the arms and the muscles around the shoulders. Continue to connect with your breath. So we're always working on motor learning and motor development. Like it's a whole lifetime that we're working on it. It's really apparent as children, right? When we're learning to walk or tie our shoes, those large and fine motor skills, but it doesn't stop when we get older. So if it feels a little bit clicky or a little bit clunky, just trust that that's part of the learning process. Let's go ahead and add the rest of the spine. So this time, arch your spine, tilt the tailbone up, swoop the heart through. Nice familiar stretch in your cow. Breathe into it. Tuck the tailbone as you exhale. Draw the belly button to the lower back. Tuck your chin to your chest for your cat. 2 more times. Use your inhale. Just scoop the heart forward. Maybe you take a soft bend in the elbows and then exhale around the spine, chin to chest. Once more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Find a neutral spine here. And then extend the right leg straight back behind you. Try and keep the hips level, but lift that right leg high. And then reach the left arm forward, finding your spinal balance with a little bit of extension in the back. Another option here is to bend the left elbow and then pull that left arm a little higher in space. Breathe in, whether you've got the left arm long or bent. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath your body. 2 more times. Inhale, stretch everything up, lift, 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 and then exhale, squeeze, curl it in. Last time, breathe in. Breathe out. Take everything long, reach forward with the left arm if you're bending it, and then bring that left hand down, modified side plank. You're gonna spin onto the inner edge of your right foot, bring the left toes back behind you. My foot probably disappeared. Oh no, there it is. Reach your right arm up. So you've got a little bit more support with the left knee down. Then just draw some really easy circles with your right arm. Totally fine to put a bend in the right elbow, switch the direction of those circles. Keep pressing into the knife edge of your right foot to find more length in the low back. The next time your right arm reaches long, hold it there. Press the hips toward the right side of your space and then really open up. So big inhale into the right underarm, side body. And then exhale, bring that hand down, tuck the toes under. We're gonna press the hips back to the heels for a little toes pose. You can absolutely keep some of the weight off of the feet by coming onto the palms or leaning forward or taking fist for wrist. If it feels comfortable, bring your hands to your thighs and a tall spine here. We'll just take a few breaths. Notice the sensation of the stretch in the soles of the feet. Maybe up into the back of the heels and ankles. You might also be getting a good stretch if you're sitting upright in the quads, the fronts of the thighs. And if you've got the eyes closed with me here, blink them open, come back to all fours, and then cat-cow, nice, easy, not trying to control this one. The blend of trying on new ways of moving, and then coming back to something that hopefully feels familiar and kind of welcome in the body. When you're ready, find a neutral spine, abdominals are lifting, and then extend the left leg back and lift it up. So you're using the left glutes. You might even press through the left heel and flex your left foot. Right arm goes forward, or you bend that elbow out to the side. Feel a little more extension in your upper body. Breathe in, whichever version you landed. And then exhale, elbow to knee. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 2 more times. Inhale to lift and extend. Exhale, curl in. You're flexing your back a little bit. Last time, breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to take everything long. Inhale, right arm goes forward. Keep the left leg lifted. Bring the right hand down and then find your side plank on this side. And bringing the hips forward in space a little bit as you start to take some easy circles with your left arm. Feel what it feels like to relax the left wrist and fingers. Great, switch the direction of those circles. Remember, you can bend your elbow. Let the left shoulder move toward the ear as you reach that arm forward. So that's part of healthy shoulder mobility, is it does punch up toward the ear. Reach that arm long. It does lots more than just that, but we don't want to demonize that particular range of motion. Breathe in. This time, downward facing dog, just for a moment. Lately, down dog has felt really good for me to be still in. Oftentimes it feels good to bring a lot of movement, to pedal out your dog, to give your head a shake. Kind of experiment with what feels best for your body today, not just in down dog, but in the entire practice. We're going to walk the hands to the back of the mat. And then keeping the feet hips distance, bend your knees generously and catch the crooks of your opposite elbows. Let the shoulders melt toward the ears. Maybe you give your head a gentle little nod or find a sway. You feel into the stretch as you keep your heels down, shift your weight toward the balls of your feet, and then play around with straightening your legs, sending the back of the knees back to the space behind you. Great, release your fingers down, heel toe your feet a little closer together here. Slide your palms onto your shins, find your halfway stretch, and then one arm at a time, wing your arms by your side. Torso is parallel to the ground, chin is level, nose is pointing down, so we've got lots of length in the back of the neck. Draw the belly button into the lower back, so there's so much space there in the lumbar spine. I'm not arching. Big inhale. And then exhale, catch your calves, active forward fold, chin to chest. Let's try that again. Lift up halfway, wing the arms, push into your feet, a little more weight in your heels than your toes. And then exhale, catch your calves and fold forward. Last time like that, wing your arms, breathe in. This time, interlace your hands, or you can grab that strap or towel and fold forward with a bind. Give your chin a little shake side to side. Keep pressing the palms together if you've got your hands interlaced, and bring the inner edges of the wrists together as well. We're going to try and keep this bind. Bend your knees. Bring the bind down towards your back, so not lifting the knuckles far away from you. And then slowly come up to standing, keeping your knees bent a bit so that the legs are strong. Once you're upright, you can drag the knuckles down. Press the hips forward, squeeze the inner thighs together, taking a back bend. Breathe in. And then neutral spine first. Exhale, hands to your heart. Ooh, lots of energy in the arms today. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, catch your left wrist or your left elbow. Take a side bend, anchoring down into the knife edge of your left foot. Come back to the center, breathe in. And then switch, find that side bend going the other way as you breathe out. Come back to the center, nice long inhale. Bend your elbows as you exhale, cactus or goalpost your arms. Interlace your hands at your lower back. Take a breath in, lift the chest, lift the chin, mini bend in the knees. And then exhale, fold forward with that bind. Release the bind, halfway stretch palms to shins, inhale. Forward fold, exhale, let it go. Stand all the way up, breathe in. Catch left wrist, go right as you breathe out. Open side body, back to the center, inhale. Catch right, go left as you exhale. Come back to the center, big breath in. Cactus your arms as you empty, squeeze the inner thighs. Interlace your hands, little bend in your knees, breathe in. And then bow forward with that bind as you breathe out. This time, release your hands and then walk your hands forward just to like a very short downward facing dog. Bear with me, we're gonna try a pike push-up that I have very much work to do to master. I'm nowhere near there yet. It's really helpful for upper arm and for deltoid, for that shoulder kind of pad area. You can stay on the soles of the feet, or you can lift your heels up. Try and find like a pike position with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips moving toward over your shoulders. We're gonna start to bend the elbows straight back. Try not to flare them out, and then tuck the chin toward the chest. The crown of the head is moving toward the top of the mat, past the fingertips, and then straighten the arms back out. Holy smokes. Let's try that 2 more times. Shift forward, bend the elbows back, tuck the chin, and then imagine the crown of the head tapping the mat in front of your fingers. Push the floor away. All right, 1 more time. You can see I'm definitely not there yet on this movement. Exhale, bend the elbows, stay, breathe in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. All right, walk the feet to the top of the mat. Find a halfway stretch. Probably your arms are like done at this point. Fold forward, maybe not. Mine feel a little bit beat up. Roll all the way up to stand. Take a breath in. Side bend as you exhale. So that just means I'm going to be extra mindful. Come back to the center. Take a breath in. Side bend over to your left. Go back to the center as you inhale. Active legs. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway stretch. Breathe in. Plant the hands. Step back to the top of a push-up. So first time we've seen plank pose. And then this time, lower all the way down. Strong, slow, controlled. Use your knees if you need. Come on to the tops of the feet. Slide your fingers back a little bit so the hands are framing your ribs. And then roll up into a cobra. Elbows point back, long through the neck. Roll right back down as you exhale. The forehead taps the mat. 2 more cobra roll-ups. Inhale. Maybe you bend your right knee and look toward your right foot. Exhale, lower it down. Cobra, maybe you bend the left knee or you're staying through center. Either way, breathe in. And then lower down as you breathe out. Tuck the toes under. Press onto the hands and the knees. Take an in breath. Maybe the knees are lifted. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Stay here looking toward the middle of your mat, somewhere between your toes and your wrists, or looking back towards your knees. And just feel the shift in energy in your body, where the muscle is a little bit more awake. Is there some more heat? And we're going to work with that awakeness and that warmth. Look forward, lift your heels. Empty your breath and then take a big step to the top of your mat. Surya Namaskar, a halfway stretch. Breathe in. Fold forward and breathe out. Rise all the way up. Stand tall on the in-breath. Let's catch left, go right one more time here as you exhale. Bump the hips to the left. Back to the center, breathe in. Switch it out as you breathe out, bump the hips to the right, but keep the hips pressing evenly forward. Back to the center, breathe in. Bend your elbows as you breathe out, keep the legs straight. Interlace the hands. Now you take a little bend in the knees, straighten them out as you inhale, and then bow forward, hinging at your hips with or without that bind. Release the bind, take a breath in, halfway stretch. Plant your hands, step back, rock forward, lower half or all the way down. Use an inhale to slide through upward facing dog or cobra, rotate the shoulders down and back, and then downward facing dog. Send your hips back, 2 big breaths. And feel into the length in your spine, long inhale. Stay here, slow exhale, push back, back, back. Hold the breath out, look forward, big step or a jump to the top. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Forward fold and breathe out. Rise tall on the inhale, we're gonna change it up. Cactus arms as you exhale, give the glutes a little squeeze. This time find chair pose, bend your knees. Maybe you sweep the fingertips down. And then your biceps are going to track toward your ears. Totally okay to have the shoulders lift. Find some length in your lower back. So oftentimes if we can't reach the arms up very high, we arch the back. See if you can avoid arching the back and just work on that shoulder mobility today. And appreciating whatever range of motion it is. Maybe you're reaching forward and up, and that's here. That's great. Breathe in. Fold forward and empty. Halfway stretch, long in breath. Plant the hands, step back, take it through your vinyasa, or feel free to skip this or pause in a child's pose. This is a nice place to personalize your practice, to really honor the signals that your body is giving you. When you land in down dog, right leg lifts, breathe in. And then bring your right knee to your nose, give it a squeeze, rock forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lengthen that leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. This time step through between your hands. Keep your left hand down and sweep your right arm open. So you're finding a dragonfly twist. Press your left hand or fingers into the mat to leverage that energy from the ground, those ground reaction forces, to help you find more of a twist. Long breath, find space in your spine. As you exhale, you're going to drop your back knee. Bring your right hand to your lower back or to the outside of the left hip. Push into your front foot and then rise up into a supported revolved crescent. So there's a hint of a twist toward the right here. It could be a very slight little hint, or you could be rotating deeply. Feel that you're pulling up through the left low belly and sending that left hip back in space right over the left knee. And stay here, breathe in. We're going to find a prayer twist. Hook the left elbow outside of your right thigh, and then bring the right palm down onto the top of the left hand. With that back knee down, you might find that you can get more rotation here. Hug the inner thighs together. Feel the rib cage twirling toward the right. Reach the crown of the head forward and look over your right shoulder. Big breath in. Tuck the back toes under if they're not. Keep the twist as you exhale, lifting the left knee like you mean it. Rooting down through the balls of your feet. From your prayer twist, we're coming into Let's come into, let's see, reverse warrior, pivot the back heel down, and then straighten that knee out. Reverse triangle feels a lot better, yeah? Lift maybe the right toes to get a little tibialis energy, so some energy into the front of the shin, the area that we can get shin splints. Push that heel down, pull the toes toward your right kneecap. Stay here, or bend your top elbow, reach your left hand to that pinwheel stretch. Great place to grab your strap if you want to use it. So some people call this pinwheel, where the elbows are pointing in opposite directions. In yoga, it's our Gomukhasana arms, our cow face arms. Press the back of the head into that top forearm. Nice long breath in. We're gonna find warrior two as you exhale, release the bind. Reverse warrior, keep the bend in your knee here, inhale. And then side lunge or Skandasana at the back of your mat, bringing your hands to your heart. Take a couple deep breaths. You can set the gaze to one spot. You can use your hands in front of you for support in Skandasana, or another really great variation is to take a side lunge. In my body, this is actually a lot harder shape. There's lots more muscular activation that I need to engage with to stay stable and supported here. And Skandasana is a little bit more of a stretch, a little more connective tissue and joint energy happening. So you choose, look forward toward the top of the mat, take a breath in. And then sweep the hands to the top of the mat. We're gonna find dragonfly twist again. Inhale up and open. As you exhale, take a lizard stance, but keep that back knee lifted. We're gonna take a lizard push up from here. Bend your elbows, sometimes we call it Spider-Man. Take a breath in where your chest is low. Use the exhale to push the mat away. And then we're going right into Wild Thing today. You're gonna bring that right foot back behind you. Keep the right knee bent. Big stretch here. Shift forward a little bit so that that left shoulder blade slides down onto the back of your ribs. Breathe in. As you exhale, flip back over to a high push-up position. Hold high plank just for an inhale. And then lower half or all the way down. Cobra or up dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, send your hips back. All right, left side, inhale as you lift the leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over your wrist. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. Dragonfly, keep the back knee lifted for right now. Press into the bottom fingers or bottom hand to twirl open, lengthening the spine on the inhales. Deepening the twist from the belly button all the way up as you exhale, breathe in. We're gonna drop the back knee and set up that supported crescent with a rotation. So revolved supported crescent here. And you lift out of the right side of your body and then just gently encourage that left hip crease down. Nice long breath in. Keep the back knee down as you set up your prayer twist on this side. So oftentimes when the back knee is lifted, we end up twisting a bunch from the hips and the pelvis and kind of dropping that right side of the pelvis down to compensate for maybe a little less rotation in the ribs. See if you can focus on that rotation in your ribs and your belly. Nice long inhale, maybe you're looking over your left shoulder, back toes are tucked. As you exhale, lift the back knee up, lift it like you mean it. Hug the inner thighs together, Mula Bandha. Draw the belly button toward the low back, Uddiyana Bandha. Nice long inhale, twist deep on the exhale, reverse triangle. Back heel spins down, go ahead and straighten the left knee. Maybe push into your left heel and use the muscles at the front of your left shin to pull the toes toward the kneecap. Stay here or take your pinwheel, Gomukhasana arms. You press the floor away with your back foot and lift out of the right side body, so not dumping there. Lengthening and then taking that side bend. Breathe into it. Release the bind, warrior two, as you breathe out. Reverse warrior, inhale, reach it up and open. And then we're setting up Skandasana or side lunge at the back of the mat. Moving the breath, those nice long inhales and slow exhales. Where do you feel the sensation of the breath? You feel it in your nose, your belly, your chest. Maybe you can feel the breath moving around your heart and your shoulders. Look toward the top of your mat. Take a big breath in. And then we're going to sweep it into dragonfly again. Inhale, lift the left arm. Bring the left hand inside of the left foot. Maybe you angle your left toes over to the left a little bit. Spider-Man push up. Press the elbows back by your sides. Reach the crown of the head forward. So see if you're rounding here. See if you can pull the chest forward. It looks like you're trying to reach past whatever's out in front of your mat in front of you. Breathe in. Push the floor away, lift the left leg, keep the knee bent, wild thing, right into our big back bend and our heart opener. Just being really honest about your body's boundaries. Where is that edge that you can grow without risking too much potential harm, right? So first ethical tenet before we get into these shapes is non-harming ahimsa. Breathe in. And then flip it back over as you breathe out. Hold your high plank. One inhale. Low plank, long exhale. Up dog or cobra. Breathe in. Remember, you could skip this whole part. Downward facing dog. Press it back. Stay here. Let's clear it out with a big, long inhale through the nose. Open your mouth. Let it go. Relax your jaw. Soften your brow. Look toward the top of the mat. Breathe in. Empty the breath, step walk or hop your feet to the top. Halfway stretch, inhale, maybe you wing your arms. Forward fold, exhale, you could add an extra bind there. Unroll all the way up, stand tall, reach high, breathe in. Bend your elbows, squeeze the shoulders down, squeeze the glutes together. Chair pose, inhale deeply, press the palms together. And then we're going to take the fingertips outside of your right foot. Try and keep the palms together. Maybe you grab a block. Maybe the fingers don't touch. You're going to press that left arm into the outside of the right leg. And then inhale, right arm opens. Reach the crown of the head away from your tailbone. Exhale, right palm comes back down to the left. Reach your arms forward, breathe in. And then take that twist to your left. Fingers might tap down. Inhale, reach the left arm open. See if you can pull that left shoulder behind you in space. Exhale, left hand comes back down to right. Back to chair, breathe in. And then fold forward, let it go. Halfway stretch, we're gonna set up that flow, nice long in-breath. Step, walk, hop, or skip it, maybe child's pose, through your vinyasa. Some days we need every single one of these and all the chaturangas we can get, and some days maybe you don't need any of the chaturangas. Most of the time we're somewhere in between, yeah? Right leg goes high, breathe in. Knee to nose as you exhale. Hit back, breath in. Knee to nose and then step it forward. Strong dragonfly. Inhale as you reach up. Back knee drops. Exhale, supported crescent with that revolved. Bring the left elbow outside of the right thigh. Prayer twist. Breathe in. Keep the back knee down on the in-breath. Exhale, lift the left knee high. Reverse triangle. Breathe in. Maybe you lift the right toes. Warrior two as you breathe out. Reverse warrior, inhale. Skandasana or side lunge at the back of the mat as you exhale. Any arm variation you like. Look forward. Take a breath in. And then sweep the hands to the top. We're changing it up. Bend a Shiva squat. Bring your left knee to your right calf. In your Shiva squat, you have the option to bring the hands to the heart or to wing the arms. If you choose to wing the arms, grab your strap if you're going to use it. Turn the palms away from one another, or away from you rather, and then put a little tension in that strap. We're going to keep tension in that strap, but rotate the palms to face each other, pulling the shoulders down. And then rotate the palms back to the ceiling or the sky. Let's try that again. Rotate the palms to face each other, squeeze, hold. Rotate to the sky or the ceiling. One more time. Rotate palms to face, squeeze, hold. And then release the strap. Use your left hand to catch your left foot or leg as you straighten the right leg. Find your tree pose. Sliding that left foot somewhere onto your right thigh. So start your tree with your hands at your heart or your arms by your side. Just nice and neutral through the shoulders. Take some easy breaths here. In tree, we're going to slowly work toward eagle. So tee out your arms. The left leg will end up on top. So that means the left arm is going to end up on bottom. You can start here by catching your opposite shoulders. You might stay there, or you might move the forearms together in space and then lift the elbows. We're going to slowly start to work that left leg around the right leg, coming into your tree pose, bending the right knee. Another option or eagle pose, excuse me, we're moving from tree to eagle, or another option would be to set up a figure 4 with your eagle arms. Either arm variation, you're opening up the space behind your heart, between the shoulders. Let the shoulders move away from the spine, almost like you're reaching around to give a really tight hug. Big breath in. And stay here as you empty. We're going to step that left foot down and reach up at the top. Breathe in. Bend your elbows, give them a squeeze as you empty. Chair pose, inhale, keep the palms together. Exhale, twist to the right, fingers work toward the ground. Right arm reaches open, breathe in. Right palm comes back down as you breathe out. Chair, use your in-breath. Twist left as you empty. Open the arms, left shoulder pulls back in space. And then exhale, hands together. Back to chair, breathe in. Fold forward and release. Set up on an in-breath. And then the next place we meet is downward facing dog. Remember that most of the time we need something between everything and nothing. That middle path is the hardest of all, but the richest. Pick the left leg back when you find your down dog, breathe in. Knee to nose as you breathe out, right? Because it's the most authentic. Kick back, inhale. Step forward as you exhale, dragonfly, stay strong in the back leg, breathe in. Now drop the back knee, supported revolved crescent, breathe out. Stay here for your in-breath. Set up your prayer twist as you exhale. Breathe in, work the twist, and then exhale, lift the back knee. Reverse triangle, pivot open and around on the in-breath. Warrior 2 as you empty. Reverse warrior, take a breath in. To the back of the mat, side lunge or Sandasana. Look forward, inhale, and then sweep it to the top of the mat. Fingertips go down to start. Bring your right knee to your left calf. Once you land your Shiva squat, maybe you grab that towel again. And I'll show from a standing position. So if you're using a strap, you've got that strap between your hands. Try and keep the spine long so you're not arching the back to compensate if possible. Tug that strap apart and then rotate the palms to face. And then let the palms spin away from you. And then again, keep tension on the strap, rotate the palms together, feel what's going on in the shoulders. Let's do that one more time here. Breathe in. Breathe out, and then let's ditch the strap altogether. Use your right hand on the bottom of your right leg or foot. Set up your tree pose on this side, so you can use your right hand to guide that right foot into place anywhere above or below the knee. Hands can find your heart center or release your arms to your side for a moment. If balance just isn't feeling amazing today, tree with a kickstand is an awesome version. If you do have your leg or your foot on your leg, push your left thigh or lower leg into your right foot. And then try and lift up evenly through your hips. A lot of the time the hips bump to the side. See if you can work on bringing a little bit more balance into your balance. Arms are gonna come to a T when you're ready. And then the right arm goes under this time, catch your opposite shoulders. Great place to stay, feel the shoulder blades pulling away, or you bring the forearms together, maybe you do that double wrap, bringing the right palm to the left palm or the right fingers to the left palm. When you're ready, either setting up your figure four or your eagle. And set the eyes, your drishti, to one spot. Nice long inhales into the back of your heart where you're stretching the shoulders. And slow exhales, rooting down a little bit more into that standing leg and foot. One more, breathe in. Stay nice and low as you breathe out. Then the right foot goes down and the arms reach up on the inhale. Keep the legs straight. Bend your elbows as you exhale. We're going to put that whole thing together. Chair pose, breathe in. Twist to the right, your version. Maybe you take a prayer twist. Inhale, right arm open. Exhale, right hand down. Chair, stay with the breath in. Twist to the left on the breath out. Open the left arm. Inhale. Bring the left hand down. Exhale. Back to center. Big breath. Fold forward and release. Find a halfway stretch and fill up. And then we meet in downward facing dog. Make your way through any kind of a vinyasa that feels right. I'm doing a little kneeling cow to down dog, from down dog. We've got right side. Inhale it up. Knee to nose as you exhale it in, shift forward. Take it back, breathe in. Step through, strong dragonfly. Stay for that inhale, reaching the right arm open. Drop the back knee as you exhale, supported revolved crescent. Big breath in, reach to the top fingers. Prayer twist to the right, palms connect. Breathe in. Back knee lifts as you breathe out, squeeze. Reverse triangle, inhale it open. Warrior two as you exhale. Reverse warrior, breathe in. To the back, skandasana or side lunge. Look forward, inhale. Sweep the hands to the top, Shiva squat on the exhale. Right away, catch the left foot and then slide it into tree. Reach your arms up this time, breathe in. And then bend your elbows as you empty. Interlace the hands at the low back, keep them there. And then try and keep your abdominals engaged. Try and lift that left knee up in space. So we're standing in a single-legged mountain with a bind. We're gonna keep the bind and then kick it back into an airplane. Lever that left leg back behind you. Try and keep the hips level as if someone's squeezing the outer hips inward and lifting the right inner thigh upward. Pull the knuckles back behind you in space, breathe in. We're gonna step the ball of the left foot and then the left heel about halfway back. Bend your left knee a little bit as you straighten the right leg and then straighten both legs, bringing your shoulders up over your hips. Setting up for pyramid with a shorter stance. Big long inhale. With the bind, bow forward, letting your chest melt forward over that right thigh, knee, shin. You can absolutely ditch the bind at any point that you'd like here. I'm going to take 2 more long breaths, and then we'll move into a standing split. When you're ready, release the bind, walk the fingers a little past your front foot, and then inhale, left leg lifts up. Flex your left foot, exhale, left toes, tap the right heel. 2 more times, inhale, push into the right foot to lift the left. Exhale, squeeze the thighs together to bring the toe to the heel. 1 more time here, breathe in. This time, bring your left toe to your heel and then bring your left pinky toe to your right heel. So we're going to cross at the ankles. Find a little crisscross ankle forward fold. Let your head drop. We're going to sweep the arms back. Find the bind again, inhale. Bend the knees a little, squeeze the thighs together. We're going to go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Take a big breath in, thighs squeeze together, lift your chest, push the hips forward. And then neutral spine, hands to your heart, feet under your hips. Standing tall in mountain. We've got the left side and then we're going to cool it down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze. chair, show up for yourself, breathe in. Twist to the right as you breathe out. Make this flow your own. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Can you move deliberately? Chair, breathe in. Twist left as you breathe out. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Chair pose, deep breath. Forward fold as you empty. Work your way through your vinyasa or step straight into downward facing dog. From down dog, an inhale lifts the left leg high, and exhale brings the knee to the nose. Kick back, breathe in. Knee to nose, step it through on the breath out, left arm open, strong dragonfly on the in breath. Drop the back knee, sweep the right arm up as you exhale. Stay here, breathe, and maybe draw back. Prayer twist to the left. Nice long breath in, back toes are tucked. Exhale, lift the back knee. Reverse triangle, inhale as you peel it open. And then warrior two, as you exhale, stick that lunge. Keep your knee bent, reverse your warrior, breath in. Skandasana or side lunge to the back as you empty. Look forward, breathe in. Shiva squat at the top, breathe out. We're gonna catch that back foot and take it straight into tree pose. In tree pose, we're gonna add that bind, interlacing the hands behind you. And then trying to move with control of this. I know momentum wants to take over for me here. Engage your core, and then bring that right knee forward. Nice big breath in. Keep the bind as you kick that right leg back, leveling off the chest and the hips. You're in a bound airplane pose. Inhale. Let's bring that right foot back, setting up for pyramid. Bend the back knee a little bit. Keep your chest down as you do that, so the chest is parallel to the floor, straighten the front leg, and then lift your shoulders over your hips. If that transition didn't make sense, no problem. That's just one of the safest ways I know to come in. Breathe in, drag the knuckles down. Now fold forward with or without your bind in pyramid. Notice if you're gripping the mat with your toes. Totally okay to find your balance, to use your toes. As you start to feel more and more stable in these shapes, see if you can ungrip the toes a little bit and play with shifting the weight around through different parts of your feet. Feel how that affects the stretch, how that affects where you're feeling stable. Great, release the hands, standing split, walk the fingers a little bit forward, lift the right leg high, flex the right toes, and then tap the left heel with your right toe. 2 more times, inhale up. Exhale, tap a little further outside of the left foot to the left. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, right pinky toe to the outside of the left foot, crisscross ankle forward fold. Maybe you walk the fingers side to side a little bit, get a little sway, using your finger pads on the ground so that you don't fall. And then interlace your hands at your lower back. Bend the knees a bit, squeeze the thighs together, come all the way up. And then keep going, drag the knuckles down, press the hips forward, inhale, heart and chin lift. And then mountain at the top, bring your hands to your heart. Let your eyes close down. Maybe you separate your feet a little bit to feel a little more stable. In fact, go ahead and do that. Separate the feet to wider than hips distance. And then just shift the weight very slowly from side to side. Notice the sensation in your entire body. You feel the soles of the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. I'm going to turn the toes out quite a lot and the heels in. Blink your eyes open. And then drop your hips down into Malasana, goddess squat. Elbows are pressing against the inner thighs. Stay in Malasana if it's feeling all right as you release that bind and then circle out your wrists. You can bring the hands nice and low. Let the fingers just curl, switch the direction of those circles. And from Malasana, we're gonna bring the hands out in front, start to round your spine a bunch. See if you can drop your butt down and then catch your big toes with your peace fingers, coming into Navasana with a bind. Lift your chest. So you did a lot of movement in that flow. We're gonna balance that out with a little bit more stillness for the last portion of practice. And see if you can feel within the stillness that there is still some movement happening, even if it's just the movement of the breath, inhaling, expanding and lifting. Exhaling, maybe centering a bit, feeling more connected to your middle, your core. Maybe you keep the bind, maybe you don't, but we're gonna roll into happy baby. And happy baby, try and send your sacrum downward onto the mat and press the hip creases forward. And from happy baby, slowly bring the knees together. Then bring your palms to your kneecaps. Draw some circles in opposite directions with your knees. Let your lower back move up and down off the mat as you do this. So we've got a little pelvic tilt and pelvic tuck. Switch the direction of those circles. It's a nice easy movement, although it feels like or looks like the knees are moving. What we're working on here is actually the hips. And go ahead and step the left foot down, set up a figure four. You can stay here in this figure four stretch, letting your right knee drift away from your body. Or you can bring the right foot to the left side of your mat and keep that right knee pointing upward. Maybe you catch your right ankle with your left hand. T or cactus the right arm. You keep your nose pointing straight up or keep your neck long and tip your chin over to the right. As you settle into your twist or your figure four, whichever version feels supportive for you, tune into the sensation of your breath. So much of movement of yoga is really just about showing up for ourselves, connecting to our experience. It sounds like such a simple thing to do, but oftentimes it's anything but simple to be present with reality as it's unfolding. The good moments and the not so good moments, there's a very human urge sometimes to bolt. If you nodded your chin to one side, slowly bring it back to the center, take a breath in. And then untangle the legs just for a moment, extend the legs down, drop the arms down, mini shavasana, take a breath, notice the different sensation in the right leg versus the left leg. And when you're ready, set up your figure four, opting to be in your figure four as your hip opener here, or to take that figure four twist. Cactus or T the left arm if you added a twist, or do whatever feels comfy in your left shoulder. And maybe you choose to nod your chin to the left. If you do feel an urge to bolt, if lingering for these portions of practice are hard, know that you're not alone. See if you can use your exhales to help anchor you, to help you stay. Allowing any resistance or friction to stillness, to let it dissipate, to let it drain, to return it back into the stillness of the earth underneath you, knowing that there's plenty of movement waiting for you. And that when you're ready, as you come into Shavasana, these moments of stillness in our kind of sometimes hectic paced lives can feel a little bit jarring, a little bit unfamiliar. And trust that allowing yourself this time to integrate your practice just means that the whole thing, physical, mental, spiritual, ends up being that much more impactful, ends up really sinking in a way that can make a difference, so that the yoga doesn't stop when we step off of our mats. And stay here, listen for my voice in just a moment to close our practice. Start to take some longer inhales, bringing a little bit more energy into your body as you bring some gentle movement back into the fingers and the toes. Maybe nod the head, draw some circles with your wrists or your ankles. And then slide your feet down underneath your knees as you reach your arms back up over your head, drinking a long inhale there. As you exhale, letting it go, roll over to either side as a transition that you can use to a seat. When you land in a seated position, bring your hands to your heart, sort of tall. Trust that you did enough in your practice. And most importantly, trust that you are enough. And we'll close with a big cleansing breath. We'll add the arms, release the arms to your side, and then inhale as you sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale right back to your heart. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Take good care of yourself, and I hope to see you again soon.